All right, let's talk about building a real-world playbook for AI. We're going to move way past the textbook definitions and get into the messy, complicated, but ultimately awesome reality of making this stuff actually work. So if you're ready to close that gap between theory and execution, let's get into it.
Does this feel a little too familiar? You've read all the articles, you get the concepts, you know the lingo, but when it's time to actually roll out an AI solution, everything just feels off, a lot harder than it should be. Don't worry, you are not alone. This is probably the single biggest hurdle professionals are facing right now.
We call this the implementation gap. It's that tricky, kind of frustrating space between knowing what AI can do in theory and actually making it do it successfully inside your own organization.
Yeah, and this experience is pretty much universal. I was talking to a practitioner who had all the theory down pat, but the second they started, they just hit a wall of messy reality. The data was a disaster, stakeholders all wanted different things, and the deadlines were just nuts. Sound familiar? See, with AI, messy data isn't just an inconvenience, it's what causes it to hallucinate, to confidently spit out total nonsense, like fabricated stats or fake citations. What they realized was, this wasn't a knowledge problem, it was a process problem.
And that, right there, is the crucial point. The answer isn't to go read another book or sit through another webinar. The real key to closing that implementation gap is having a structured approach, a playbook you can pull out when things get complicated.
So, what does this magic framework actually look like? Well, it's not magic at all. It's built on 3 incredibly powerful, common-sense pillars that are the foundation for any successful AI project.
Pillar number 1, strategy and planning. This is your why. Seriously, before you write a single line of code or pick a single tool, you have to know exactly what you're trying to achieve and how it helps the bigger picture. Getting this part right prevents so much wasted time and effort later on. Next up, Pillar 2, implementation and execution. This is the how. It's all about the disciplined, nitty-gritty work of taking that beautiful strategy and making it real. It's coordinating your teams, managing your resources, and just focusing like a laser on a quality outcome. This is where the theory hits the pavement hard.
And finally, our third pillar, measurement and optimization. How do you actually know if any of this is working? You measure it. This pillar is all about accountability, and maybe more importantly, it's about building confidence. When you can walk up to your stakeholders with real data, you're not just hoping it's working, you're proving it.
Okay, so we've got our 3 pillars. Now let's get practical. Let's translate that high-level framework into a concrete action plan you can actually use.
Think of this 6-step process as your roadmap. First, you have to assess where you are right now. This is where you calibrate your judgment. Ask yourself, what's the actual risk if the AI gets this wrong? Is it a low-stakes task like drafting an internal email, or is it high-stakes like a financial analysis going straight to a client? Once you know that, you can define what success looks like, get your stakeholders on board early, and then, this is key, roll it out in phases. Build up your team's skills along the way, and then just monitor and adjust. It's a loop, not a launch.
All right, now for some real talk. Even with the best plan in the world, you're going to hit some bumps. It's inevitable. But the best pros don't just react to problems, they anticipate them. So let's look at some of the most common pitfalls and, way more importantly, how to dodge them.
This is basically your cheat sheet for the toughest challenges. If your stakeholders aren't on the same page, the answer is clear rules and communication from day one. Not enough resources? You've got to be ruthless about prioritizing and then show the value to earn more. Got people pushing back? You educate them, show them the benefits, and bring them into the process. And if you're struggling to measure success, well, that means you need to put in the hard work at the very beginning to design metrics that actually matter. See, every problem has a play.
So what happens when you put all this together? The pillars, the action plan, the pitfall dodging. What does it actually change for you and your work? Because let's be honest, this is the real payoff.
I mean, just look at this. Before, your work is good, no doubt. It's based on your hard-earned intuition, but it involves so much manual grinding. But after you apply this playbook, your professional judgment is now supercharged with data. The AI takes care of the boring, routine reviews, flagging the exact things that need your human brain. Those reports that used to take you days, now they take hours. You're not just an expert anymore, you're an evidence-backed expert focusing on the high-level strategy that no machine can touch. And if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. This technology is not about replacing what you do, it's about amplifying it. It's a force multiplier for your expertise.
The professionals who are going to win in this new world are the ones who use these tools to do better, smarter, more strategic work, the stuff that only humans can do.
So, let's wrap this up with the key plays for your playbook. 1. Start with a clear strategy. 2. Talk to your stakeholders constantly. 3. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. 4. Invest in your team's skills. And 5, probably the most important, be ready to adapt. The plan is just the starting line.
I'll leave you with this final thought. Getting AI integration right isn't about finishing one project. It's about building a core capability for your organization and for yourself that's going to last. So the real question you should be asking is my playbook built to last?